Do you ever feel lost and not sure what direction to take in life? Do you feel like you're lacking clarity and purpose in what you're already doing? It's okay. Confusion is something we all face at some point in our lives. But how do we gain clarity and purpose? Well, it's important to first identify our values. Then we can find purpose. With purpose, we'll then have a clear direction in life. In this video, I'll share 3 steps for how to discover your values and clarify your life direction. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is David Lisson. In case you don't know me already, I'm a licensed mental health counselor in the state of New York, a mindfulness and meditation instructor, as well as a life coach. As a life coach, I often work with people in clarifying their life direction. Prior to this, as a Buddhist monk, I also served as a mentor to people, and over these past 20 years, I've been fortunate to have heard hundreds of people's stories and have been privileged enough to accompany them on their journeys by providing guidance. In my experience, I've seen a pattern, and I've found a formula for resolving confusion and finding clarity. Many of us find ourselves confused at some point in our lives. Maybe we're wondering what career to enter, or we're considering beginning a relationship with someone, either choosing a life partner or maybe a business partner. Or maybe we're just facing a big decision, like whether to get a major surgery or if we should make a certain financial investment or not. In any one of these cases, we are making an investment. We're investing in ourselves. At the same time, we're also investing in others, since all of our lives are intertwined. So it's natural that we feel a great deal of confusion and pressure, because it can be difficult to know what to do. But why do we become confused? According to my observation, confusion comes when we're not clear about our values. What are values? Values are established beliefs that we have about ourselves and the world, in which we determine what is good, bad, right, wrong, important, and not important. For example, some of us believe good health or well-being or peace of mind are important. Some of us believe pride, public image, success, and notoriety are essential. Some people even value war as a means to resolving conflict, whereas others value peaceful diplomacy. Some of us value all of these things. For some people, they have a complete set of values that was transmitted to them by their family, school, workplace, religion, or other community. And with a complete set of values, a person usually has an easier time navigating the day-to-day choices and even the major decisions of their lives. However, many people grow up without any clear values. This may be due to a dysfunctional family, community, or institution, and this person may have absorbed many random values from the media or from different people in their neighborhood or public figures like musicians or celebrities. And if a person doesn't have any clear value system, they often end up with a mix of sometimes conflicting values. For example, a person may think it's fine to party hard and get really and completely intoxicated when they socialize with people and party. At the same time, they also think it's important to be healthy and have a clear mind so that they can be productive in life. So they meditate a lot. But interestingly, these two values and activities are at odds: intoxication and mental clarity. There's a conflict when we value both of those states of mind. For some people, they're not clear at all on what they value, and it may change from day to day. One day they value the loyalty and companionship of an exclusive relationship, just having one intimate partner. The next day they value being alone and wish they were free to explore a single life. Another example is where one day a person may think it's essential to be fair to people, The next day, they think it's acceptable to disadvantage a whole community of people as long as the outcome is what they deem a positive one. This goes along with the saying, the ends justifies the means. So when our values are either unstable, conflicted, or just not clear, we're likely to encounter confusion. So what can we do to clarify our values? Firstly, it's important to validate ourselves and affirm that we can become clear about what we value. You can become clear about your life direction. And even though you may find yourself frustrated and confused right now, with the proper method and guidance, as well as your own willingness to explore, you can find your way. I've worked with many people who are suffering greatly, confused about what career to start, what to do with their relationship, or how to deal with their drug addiction. And I've seen them find their way through it. I myself experienced confusion regarding my life direction on two main occasions. Once was before entering the monastic life as a Buddhist monk, and before I decided to leave the monastic life and return to lay life. But by exploring my values, I was able to find clarity and peace with my decisions. I've helped myself and others find clarity about their life direction based on the following 3-step method of self-exploration. First step is exploring our ideas. Second step is exploring our feelings. And the third step is not exploring anything at all and letting our minds settle and clear of all ideas and emotions. I suggest that when engaging in the following practice, prepare something to record your reflections, either some pen and paper, your computer, or a voice recorder. But I suggest don't use your phone because there are too many incoming distractions from it. Find a quiet place free from distraction and make yourself comfortable. First, sit quietly for a couple of minutes and relax yourself. You can close your eyes and experience the feeling of breathing for a moment, then slowly open your eyes and prepare to reflect. So to begin, the first step is the simplest. Ask yourself the question, what's important to me and why? Take a few moments and pause. Let that question sink in. Then, write down whatever thoughts come into your mind. Don't censor or edit these thoughts. Just record them honestly. You can feel free to write this in a list form or in prose, like making a journal entry, or you can write in the stream of consciousness, just writing whatever comes to mind without stopping. Just write in the most freeing manner that works for you. Some examples of what thoughts could come to mind about what's important to you are, my family is important to me. I want to have a family of my own. I want to live simply. I want to live simply, but have resources for my children to have opportunities to learn and be successful. I want to have a balanced life. I want to help other people find balance and happiness. And I want my career to allow me to serve others, etc. I want to make my parents proud. These are just some ideas of what could come to mind. Nothing is right or wrong, and you may have totally different values, and that's fine. Just record what comes to mind. Step 2 is to ask yourself, how do I feel about these values? And again, take a pause. Be aware of how you feel. Don't just think about how you feel. As these values are right in front of you, on paper, you're looking at them. How do you feel about these values? Be aware of the emotions that arise. Then, write down what you feel about these values. This step can be interesting because sometimes we have lofty ideals or even conflicting values, which at first we didn't notice how these affect us emotionally. Because our ideas often trigger feelings, and if we're aware of them, it can help us be more sensitive to the connection of our thinking and emotions. And in some cases, our values actually trigger painful emotions or create a sense of dis-ease. If that's the case, we may want to reevaluate our values and examine if they bring about well-being or suffering. Do I really agree with these values or not? For example, I had a client who said that as a child, he was a member of a more extreme religious community where they were very critical and demanding of their members. He stated that he had inherited some of these judgmental values, which led him to be severely self-critical and became a perfectionist in terms of spiritual purity. He would feel very uncomfortable when reflecting on these values, and at some point he realized he didn't agree with them. Although in the past he went along with them, he realized now he didn't agree with them. Eventually, he decided to give up those certain harmful values and choose a more compassionate way to view himself. When we feel at ease emotionally with our values, that's a good sign that we truly agree with them. It's a sign that we're willing to continue to hold these values and use them to guide our behavior. The third step is then to not explore anything. We stop. Don't think about or reflect on anything. Just let the reflection you've done work quietly within the depths of your mind. Let the seeds you've planted germinate, because our mind is still working. Even though we're not thinking actively, the mind continues to digest and process what we've thought about, what we've reflected on. So it's just like when we plant an actual seed. After you put the seed in the soil and add water and add nutrients, you just leave it. And even though we're not actively doing anything to that seed, the soil and the nutrients continue to develop the seed. This process of rest, of non-activity, is very important as it allows our thoughts and emotions to settle. Because thinking and active reflection can be a complicated process. And sometimes we can get carried away by our own train of thoughts. We may end up thinking our way into a corner and end up even more confused than before we started. So we have to be careful not to overthink. And when we've finished the reflection exercise, we rest. So with this 3-step exercise, most of the time actually is spent not thinking, not actively exploring, and just letting the mind rest and clear. With a clear mind, we become more receptive to then what arises. But there's no rush to get an immediate answer. It takes time, especially the bigger life decisions. It took me about 1 year to find clarity and make the decision to become a monk, as well as it took about a year before I decided to leave the monkhood. And in many of my clients' cases, it can take weeks or it can take months. However, sometimes it can be very quick. It can even take a day or a moment, but it really depends. So just be patient. And you can do this exercise a number of times over the course of weeks or months. You may find that your answers change and evolve as your experience of life accumulates. And in time, the seeds of our mind sprout. If we're calm and clear, we'll be able to identify them. We'll be able to truly know what we value and be sure of it. And we'll feel at ease with it. So when we know what we value, then we can look at our situation or our dilemma and make a decision based on those values. At that point, it's often easy to decide what to do, once we're clear what's important to us. As an example, I have a client who's a musician, and she's been spending a few months reflecting on her career direction. She wasn't sure in the beginning which path to take, to either become a performer or to become a teacher. Many of her family members and classmates thought that she should enter into performance because they value the prestige of being on stage and playing with great musicians, and receiving attention and recognition. She was initially confused, and she wanted to please others, please her family, please her friends. She wanted to go along with what they valued. But after spending time reflecting on her thoughts, exploring her feelings, and also meditating and taking time to not think about anything, she eventually found her answer. She found her own direction. She wants to teach because she values being able to help students learn about music and uplift themselves. She also wants to help students find peace. She wants to help them learn how to deal with performance anxiety. This is a great example of where initially a person was confused and led astray by others' values. Later, they found their own direction through this simple approach to self-exploration. I'm confident that with this process, you can also do the same, and you'll be clear about what you value, and you'll be clear about your life direction. So in conclusion, if you're struggling with life direction, it's okay. It's normal. We all get lost at some point. And if you want to find clarity, it's possible. You just need to have faith in yourself and the right approach. With concentrated self-reflection on your thoughts and feelings, you can discover how you feel about your already existing values and either drop them or alter them. Choose new values. And by taking time to do nothing, you can provide the mental space for your own insights to arise naturally. With space and time, you can discover what you truly value. And with this insight, you'll know what decision to make, and you'll have a clear direction in your life. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any comments or questions, feel free to share. If you liked the video, remember to like it and subscribe. In the meantime, enjoy your exploration and be well.